Welcome again. I'm the motherfucking Batman, David John Lincoln, aka the Savage Bat, with my very good friend Jeffrey Warfield and fellow Snyder Knight. Welcome, Jeffrey. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to doing this episode with you and talking about your project Justice League Revelations that you've been working on for quite a long time now. If you could tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, what Justice League Revelations is it's kind of like a sequel to a project I did about, I want to say, a year ago,
Yeah,
called Justice League Pandora's Box,
yeah,
where Justice League Pandora's Box was really was really kind of like a screenplay I did, where it was kind of like a remix of Zach's old storyboards, with mixed in with what could have possibly been changed with the new storyboards as well.
right,
And where Justice League Revelations takes place is it takes place 20 years after the whole Darkseid war, and Darkseid is defeated,
right,
and is the villain this time is Grail, and there's a new Justice League team formed with Damian Wayne being the new Batman,
right.
Cassandra Sandsmark as the new Wonder Woman, John Kent as Superman, and then we have some unsuspecting League members, which are Rose Wilson, daughter of Deathstroke, and Lucy, who is the daughter, who in the comics is the daughter of Joker and Harley Quinn.
Right.
And also you also have Raven also in the league as well,
From Teen
and
Titans.
you have Calderam, who is kind of like who is like the royal that is kind of like a apprentice of Aquaman.
Right. Cool. That's excellent. And so with the first one, Pandora's Box. What I'll do is I'll add the links to these screenplays or stories or whatever you want to call them into the description for the audience, so you can go and check them out. And obviously, along the way, you've been, because you're an admin of my group, the Snyder Knights. So you've told me a little bit about it, and I've got some catching up to do. But yeah, well, that sounds really, really, really cool. And I wish you all the best with that. Let's go back to Pandora's Box. So Pandora's Box is just is what your version of what might have happened with Justice League 2 and 3. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. So that's your sort of version of it, and that's it's been seen by quite a lot of people, on the internet, and you've had a quite good support going on with that. But separately from that, because you're, as I say, admin of the Snyder Knights, with everyone in the Snyder Knights has got a particular skill, and that's why we've got such a great team. And Jeffrey, you're like 007. Uh, you're always scouring the internet like a secret agent, looking out, for the actors and assistant directors and people like that. And you're great at bringing fresh new news and stuff. And so that's you've been an integral part of the Snyder Knights and the fandom. So if you want to know where we get the jump from, is we've got a big team, and then we've got Jeffrey 007 looking out for us on the internet. He spots everything before anyone else does, which is great. So that's why I always tag you in those posts, if I can, or if if I haven't seen them before. But you're a great follower, and you keep an eye on the really important stuff, like like what the actors are doing, and you use your common sense to try and work out what's going on, and like as it goes, and most of the time it does work out that way, because all you've got to do is do a bit of research, like Jeffrey does, and you'll know what's going on. And we all do that, and there's a lot of fans out there that lately, with blatant, pointers from Clay Staub, for instance, with his eggs posts, and he even said, keep it up, Snyderverse fans. And we're showing this people, and they're saying, ain't going to be restored, ain't going to be restored. And he's liked you've liked your comments before, hasn't he?
He has. Like, I would when it came to really that egg post, and where I kind of when I kind of Googled kind of the symbolism of eggs.
Yeah.
And it was talking about the creation of the universe, and it was talking about hope and stuff. I really wasn't the context for that was really just my curiosity of why does he keep posting stuff about eggs?
Yes, the same. I was totally confused by that to start off with. It's like, what the fuck is this all about? No disrespect, Clay. Massive fan of yours. But yeah, we was all totally confused by that at first.
Yeah.
It's like, eggs? Really? But now it's all sort of making sense now.
Yeah.
Just saying, many people, Jay Olivia with his storyboards pictures recently.
Yep.
Especially the Batfleck one.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah, that one opened a lot of eyes.
That really did wake up a lot of people, because everyone's been, the haters have been saying it's never going to happen, give up. Robert Pattinson's Batman now, and we're all saying no, it's fine. We can have both. Ben Affleck, and it's nothing's written in stone, but it's looking very positive. Jay, wouldn't be posting these hints if there wasn't nothing to it. And I really hope we get that. And obviously, Gary McGill as well is admin as well of the Snyder Knights. He's the creator of the Make the Batfleck campaign. And he's really buzzing about that at the moment. Getting him on the channel, I think at the weekend. It's very hard to get sorted with the time zones. With England and America. Because you're all from different states.
Yeah.
One person, it's like 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and the next, someone else is, it's hours apart, and getting people to from different states and different timelines as well. Like say 3 people on at once is a complete nightmare. And when I had Sil Abdul, Mikey Sutton on, we was planning on doing it for ages, but we kept messing up the timelines, and eventually we got it worked out. It's so complicated, but yeah, it's been brilliant. And you've been a great a member of the admin of the Snyder Knights, and you like I said, you're a big time on Twitter. You've really done well getting in there. I don't myself use Twitter that much. I only use it for to support the Restore the Snyderverse, and keep an eye on it a little bit. But because Twitter can be quite troublesome sometimes. It's there's a lot of people out there with a lot of different opinions, and it gets a bit messy for me sometimes. So, you're a soldier for getting in there and doing the good fight, and that's excellent. So, yeah, it's great. And so, what are your hopes for Justice League 2, for instance? It's looking highly likely that's going to happen now. It's obviously some things are going to change. What's your hopes for Justice League 2, say?
Well, for Justice League 2, I'm hoping to see Zach's full vision come out, and really just want to, and really you just kind of see what Zach does with his ultimate multiverse crossover, because he obviously has teased Final Crisis for his Justice League arc, where like in the old storyboards it said that the world becomes the Justice League, and where and where and with the Final Crisis book, it's obviously a multiverse event, and it's pretty obvious that 100,000 worlds versus like one planet isn't gonna be enough. So it's
No.
probably gonna be like the multiverse versus Dark Side, and I think that's gonna be pretty insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm also hoping for kind of like a nightmare spin-off where we spend a lot of time in the nightmare world with
Yeah.
Joker and Batman kind of like being co-leaders of the Nightmare League, as I call them.
Yeah, the
So,
Nightmare League, yeah.
which
That's right.
which to kind of like segue into that, I really find it pretty funny that Zach has made Joker and Batman team up because when I was a little kid, I always found it fascinating, like the idea fascinating of the Joker and Batman actually teaming up, and and my friends would say, "No, that's crazy. That would never happen."
Yeah.
And then years later, Zach is like, you know what? That sounds like a cool idea.
Yeah.
So I
Because
just
he's
really got a real kick out of that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like Richard Centrone said on the episode, a couple of episodes before, Zack Snyder is a huge fan of comics, so he's in tune with the fans, and I don't think some of his people that dislike him don't realise that, and they don't see it because they've seen certain versions of DC Comics, and they don't really delve into the proper side of it, which I find funny because he's a true fan, Zach.
Yeah.
And he's got a good team of people. That's what one of Zach's good things is. He's great at creating a good team, a perfect team of people, like Batman does in the Justice League. He's a good recruiter. He's all of his casting has been on point. For the looks of the characters, and things like that. So yeah, and back to when you were saying about the nightmare. Personally, because you know what I'm like, Jeffrey. I'm a bit of a savage. That's that's the thing I've been looking forward to the most. Whatever way we get it, since that nightmare scene in Batman versus Superman, I've really, really wanted to, see that continue and be like a whole movie or a whole series. I'm not sure whether that's going to be incorporated into Justice League 2 or it's going to be a spin-off. Either way, I'm easy as long as we get, like you said, as long as we get lots of nightmare stuff.
Yeah.
Because, that's crazy. And after Batman and Deathstroke, we don't even know what's happened between them yet. But that there was some, serious shit went down with him and Deathstroke, and for them to become friends, and team up, as well as the Joker, that must have been, obviously it's a world-ending event, so you've got to put your differences aside, and it doesn't matter if you're a goodie, a baddie, villain or whatever. We're all in this together, kind of thing. And if they don't team up, it could be the end of all of us. So I'm really personally again looking forward to that. Jared Leto's Joker at the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League with his body armor with police badges, obviously of policemen that he'd taken out or something, or things like that, and the whole thing of it being a risk, trusting the Joker. Even Deathstroke knows that, but it's so was it something to do with the Joker steals one of the mother boxes, and they need the Joker to do that for some reason. I don't know why. He must must have something going on there. And then obviously him and Batman made that deal with the Joker card, and that's on Batman's machine gun as well, and in the Nightmare timeline. So perhaps like Ben Affleck says in the movie, and make no mistake, I will fucking kill you. Yeah, maybe that happens. Maybe Batman tears up that Joker card afterwards, and finally finishes it. We don't know. Maybe Joker gets him. But yeah, I don't. Teaming up. I don't think that rivalry's over yet.
Yeah.
Even after the end of the world, I think killing Robin. I don't think Batman's going to forget that. To be honest with you, well, I wouldn't. And,
if the dark side ends up killing Harley Quinn, then maybe they would set aside their differences.
Possibly. Maybe. And he said, Harley Quinn's last words to me was to kill you slowly. Yeah. So obviously they've Joker and Harley have had. I don't know if that's following on from when they've split up after the 2016 Suicide Squad, which apparently which will turn into the Ire Cut. Hopefully, that's looking very likely. But maybe they made it up again in that time. So there's quite a big gap there. So we don't really know what's happening there, and it's gonna be amazing times ahead. Fingers crossed. We just have to see how it's going, but it's all looking very positive. And what about Man of Steel possibly a Man of Steel, another Man of Steel movie, maybe two. What do you reckon about that, Jeffrey? About bringing characters like Brainiac and Metallo and things like that in. That would be interesting. What would you like to see in a follow-on to Man of Steel?
Well, a follow-up to Man of Steel, like if BBS weren't really to happen, if BBS didn't happen, I would have said that I would have went with Zach's original plan, like having Man of Steel 2 being like a in between, kind of like being a prequel to Batman v Superman, but
Right.
because since that's out of the way now, I think really a Man of Steel sequel and where it would fit in the timeline would kind of be a would kind of like be after Justice League 3,
Yeah.
where it's kind of like a Logan type of deal. Like it's not exactly like Logan, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like a passing of the torch type of movie to
Right.
the next generation sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because really kind of like looking at the whole movie timeline,
Yeah.
I really do think that the only way a proper Man of Steel 2 would be made would kind of like be in the Logan situation where it's kind of like a passing of the torch to his son sort of way.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great idea. And it's the same with the Batfleck movie. Batman versus Deathstroke. That will be set in between just Zack Snyder's Justice League and Justice League 2.
Yep.
So that's going to have to be inserted there somewhere. So, I'm not sure if, like we said, we don't know. They might sort of change that. But yeah, Man of Steel, definitely. That would be interesting to see a kind of prequel, like you said, set straight after. But then also, this kind of Man of Tomorrow type thing as well. Like a lot of people have kind of moaned that, Henry Cavill's Superman is not, as hopeful and things like that, which is complete rubbish. But
Yeah.
if they made a kind of Henry Cavill version of, say like Superman the animated series, not light-hearted, but a bit more kind of the traditional Superman, because I think Zach said that is where Henry Cavill's Superman will end up.
Yep.
Is that Superman, that we all know from the old movies and comics and stuff, and much of it is in it already. It's just I think that people didn't realise that these stories have to progress. And it's just, I'm sick of telling people it. Really, it's like when Batman versus Superman came out. People moaning about Batman turning evil and killing people and stuff, because we all knew that was leading up to Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, where he kind of turns good again. That's part of the story, and a lot of fans are playing catch up with that now and realizing oh wow, that's what it was all about. It's like yeah, really. Bloody hell. Yeah. And not to mention as well, Batman in Batman versus Superman was killing trained mercenaries, right? Yeah, they chose that job. They could have chose to be, do a job that's a little nicer than that, other than being a trained killer. and sex traffickers as well. I actually see people online going, I think Batman was being a bit harsh on sex traffickers. Like,
Oh
what?
yeah, I remember
What?
that.
What?
And
You having a laugh?
they also did the same thing that when that trucker when that truck driver in Man of Steel was harassing the waitress,
Yeah.
and said Superman didn't need to do that, and it's like, and I'm like, Superman didn't hurt him, like he
Nah.
just ruined his truck.
Yeah, just smashed his truck up. You know, and those trucks,
Yeah.
those trucks aren't cheap as well. You know, I mean, you know, they're not cheap.
I'm just saying I'm just saying, if you really think about it, Clark was merciful to the dude as much
Yeah,
as he can because he
he
didn't get
was.
hurt.
No, he didn't. You know, he poured a drink over him. You know, was very rude to that woman in the cafe. You know, Superman, he's all about justice. And, you know, he's lucky he didn't smash him through a brick wall.
Yeah.
You know, that's right. You know, like in, you know, Batman versus Superman with the terrorists. You know, that was kind of a bit personal because they was going to kill Lois. And that's exactly what Superman did. Smashed him straight through a brick wall. And, you know, everyone knows how much Superman loves Lois. You don't mess with Lois. That's it. It's always been that way, you know. He'll, you know, whatever he's doing, he will drop it and anything for Lois. And, of course, you know, that's going to be, spoiler alert, you know, Lois Lane's going to be killed at some point in the story. If it plays out like that, but that seems to be what's going to happen, you know, because of the clips in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that's how Superman gives in to Darkseid and the anti-life equation, you know, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to all that, you know. Poor old Lois, but yeah, that's going to be that's going to be a part of the story, and obviously Batman's involved in that. I think it's something along the lines of, you know, he tries to prevent Lois getting killed, and in the process, you know, it's going to happen anyway. So Superman blames Batman for that somehow, and that brings us back to the Nightmare timeline, you know, where Superman, you know, you don't really see what happens, but I should imagine doing that with your super strength on a human, that would have, you know, broke all your ribs or potentially killed you. So, yeah. So that's you know, all you know, stuff that, you know, this is why we're doing the campaign for Restore the Snyderverse, isn't it? At the end of the day, because we want to see all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's as simple as that, really, and it's great that we can, you know, so many people have done so many projects connected to AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. That's closing on now, I think, $1 million. So
yep, $1 million.
That you know, that will be happening very soon if we keep doing it. You know, keep coming up with projects. I've got a project myself for the Snyder Nights coming up, which should hopefully help towards that. And you know, it's just, you know, like I said before, it's just the best of both worlds. You know, we're getting things like Zack's original intentions to his 5-story arc, and raising money for charity at the same time. What more could you ask for?
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, that's just it's just been incredible. And you know, and just the fact that, you know, because you've been following it just as closely as I have with you know, David Zaslav on the Warner Media Discovery merger. And I was just saying in a post today, it was only a year ago. I was saying these people are all going to get sacked. Yeah.
Yep, it's happening. It's happening.
Taking out the trash. It's happening. Several of them are gone already. There's only a few more to go now. And the old Warner Brothers would be gone. And great days ahead. It's just amazing time to be a Snyder fan. And a DC fan, the DC fans as well, but like I said to Jeremy, I think there's been a lot of infighting over the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and the Batman, and it's kind of turned into a bit of a versus war, which is another thing, I said this way before it all started, that begun the Batman war has, Yoda, the Clone Wars has, because you know what people are like on the internet, they fight over anything. But hopefully, when David Zaslav restores the Snyderverse, we'll have a bit more unity. Everyone's going to get what they want. We've all got different tastes in stuff. A lot of people make presumptions that Zack Snyder fans only want, Zack. That's not true. I love Zack Snyder. He's the number one. We just want him to finish it, willing to accept other projects. Some of them I don't like. Some of them I like. Just my personal opinion, and people get their backs up about that. But yeah, what can you do, Jeffrey?
Yeah, because really, for me, there are some stuff that I actually do like. People, people tend to think that I only watch Zack Snyder stuff, but I also watch anime, play different type of video games. But but even though it's Zack is my number one dude, it's there's still some other stuff that I like to do.
Yeah, same. I'm big into my retro games and stuff like that. I've got a sort of little emulator console, about 60,000 games, and I watch all different kind of movies. It's just because we're sort of campaigning for it all the time, because it's something we love. I think people just think that that's all we've got. That's all that's all our lives, consumed by it, which is not true. We're just doing our best to fight for Zack, and for the charities and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I think that confuses people a lot. There was a lot of I don't know what you thought of the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. I wasn't really a fan of those.
To be honest, I wasn't a big fan of. I wasn't a big fan of the Suicide Squad. I actually really hated it. The jokes didn't land for me at all. It was trying to be too funny when it wasn't.
Yeah, I've kind of thought the same.
But when it comes to the Peacemaker, I just haven't watched it at all, because I don't like to hate watch stuff.
No.
Because to me,
There's
it's
no point.
and I know people are probably gonna think, oh, that's you have to give it a shot. But to me, the best type of way to give something a shot is if I hated something earlier, then I don't think I would watch something I don't think I would want to watch something unfairly. So that's really why I haven't watched the Peacemaker show yet. I probably will years down the line or something like that.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I haven't seen Peacemaker yet.
No. And the Suicide Squad for me was there was certain things, like you said, the humour didn't kind of fall, right. And people, no disrespect to the fans of those stuff, not hating. Yep. If you like that, you like that. But spoiler alert: killing Captain Boomerang, that really pissed me off. I really
wow.
love Captain Boomerang's the man.
I'll be honest, like when I was first watching the Suicide James Gunn Suicide Squad, like I completely missed when Boomerang died. Like I
Yeah.
really did. Like when they were walking down the rain and stuff, I was like I actually paused the movie for a sec and was like, wait, where's Captain Boomerang? Cause
I
I
know.
really, cause it just was like so quick. I was like, wait, where's Captain Boomerang?
Yeah. I
And
know.
so so then I rewound. So after I finished the movie, I kind of like restarted the whole movie to see what happened to Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
And then when I realized he died during that whole cannon fodder death scene, I
Yeah.
was like, oh wow, they really did him like that.
I know. I was really disappointed by that. I even made a post about it and tagged, the actor on Twitter about it, saying I hope that was some kind of multiverse timeline. And
Yeah.
you're going to come back in the real timeline. No, because Boomerang's come back.
Yeah.
That's what I put. I can't remember exactly what the post was, but Captain Boomerang says that in the comics that Boomerang's come back, always come back. And they've done the same with Rick Flag as well. They've done Rick Flag real dirty in that, with his death. And I know it's called the Suicide Squad, so people are going to die, but really, there's so much potential for those characters in future movies. Like I said, I hope that's just kind of a variant timeline or something. I really, really don't know.
Yeah, because like to me, like because really like for like because really like for me when it comes to things like the Suicide Squad and stuff, like to me, I'm really not a huge fan of like slapstick humor, like unless it's like Tom and Jerry and stuff, and it's like an actual comedy
I get you, mate.
movie or something like that. I'm a
Yeah,
huge fan of it.
yeah,
But like when it just seems like to me that James Gunn was trying too hard to be funny with his Suicide Squad movie.
yeah,
Like when it came to like the casting list, like when it showed the entire cast list, and it showed all of those actors there. Like to me, it was kind of like a red flag that there probably was going to be a joke scene in there
mm,
about a whole bunch of people dying.
yeah,
So to me, I was kind of like playing tic tac toe with it, like saying, let's see, like I was like paying attention to what are the most important characters in what are the most important actors in this movie that are probably going to live,
yeah,
and the majority of the people that I chose actually did end up surviving.
yeah.
So yeah.
And Amanda Waller as well. They done Amanda Waller dirty.
Oh man, I would like
Amanda
if
Waller
you were
is a
in the if you were in the room with
yeah.
me while I was watching what they were doing with Amanda Waller. Like I was
I know.
lividly getting upset. Like
So
I was actually getting
uh,
upset.
yeah. No, really, because Amanda Waller is a ruthless. She is gangster. In the original Suicide Squad and the eye cut, obviously. When she just goes and shoots all her own employees. And even Deadshot, who's a trained killer, is like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's kind of that's Amanda Waller, and then in the thing is she gets taken out by some goofballs in an office with a baseball bat. It's like what? You having a
Yeah,
laugh?
and
It's like,
the thing
what?
is too.
No,
eh,
not even Bruce Wayne fucks with Amanda Waller. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and that's the thing too. Like when they kept cutting back to the to Amanda's to Amanda's office and her team and what they were doing. I
Yeah.
was like, why hasn't Amanda shot these people yet?
Yeah.
They're
She should have.
obviously not doing their job.
They're not doing their job properly. She definitely should have shot them. Because that's what she does, and that's why she's good at what she does.
Right.
She's a ruthless bitch. You know
Right,
what I
and the thing is too, like Amanda shot those people in David Ayer's Suicide Squad
Yeah.
because they were doing their job. They just weren't cleared.
No.
So it's like David Ayer's suicide. David Ayer's Amanda Waller kind of like killed people for less.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was, and it was ruthless. Well, they totally didn't deserve that, but that's just the way it goes. If you're in this sort of secret agency type of thing, if you see the wrong thing, you're going to end up in a body bag. That's that's just how it works. Whether it be MI6 or the CIA or the KGB, it's all It's if you find out something you shouldn't have, yeah, goodbye you. And that's the way just the way it is. And yeah, so there's going to be obviously a Peacemaker 2 series, season 2 coming out, but and I'm happy for the fans of that. If you want to enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's your thing. But yeah, definitely not for me.
Yeah.
And this is why we're fighting so hard for the Snyderverse, because we're not against these kind of more cheerful things. But if you just take a look at what Zack Snyder's done and what he's been involved with as well, Wonder Woman is definitely that really is a Snyderverse movie.
Yeah, because I know people kind of got upset with this guy called Gerald of Rivia, who said Zach Ghost directed Wonder Woman 2017.
Yeah.
And I know how controversial that sounds, but if you really do look at the differences between Wonder Woman in 2017 and Wonder Woman 1984, he kind of does make a point.
I follow.
They're kind of like two completely different characters and two completely different movies.
Yeah, I followed Gerald Riviere as well. He's been great at, rallying the troops for Restore the Snyderverse days and stuff like that. Hopefully maybe get him on the channel one day. I don't know. But yeah, just typical things like that. Zack, when they won an award, I can't remember what award it was. And Zack Snyder received the credit for the award as well. So he's obviously, heavily involved in it. And like you said, the difference between Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84 speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a rocket scientist to work out one is better than the other. It's just one of those things. And it's the same with Aquaman. There was a little bit of sort of cheesiness in Aquaman, but that felt like it was a bit more in line with the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
And James Wan is an incredible director, and his the special effects in that and the way he done the story, I thought was really good. I just personally think that they could have chopped a little bit of certain scenes out and certain music as well. There was a little bit of music in there, which I was thinking, that sounds a bit like a bloody Disney Aladdin movie or something.
Yeah, I know. I know exactly one of the scenes you're talking about.
Yeah. It's not the Little Mermaid. It's Aquaman. Oh dear, that's brilliant. But and again, there's a lot of fans out there of Shazam and Birds of Prey, and again, I'm hoping that they'll kind of up their game with Shazam 2 maybe somehow.
Yeah.
But I didn't. That wasn't for me.
I'll be honest. I actually do like Shazam. I understand some people don't like it because I do agree that it does look cheaply made. The movie itself does look cheaply made, but when it comes to the story, I do actually like what they did with the story in it. And
I'll agree with you on that one.
And to me, it's like this. To me, when it comes to movies, it's really like even though if something does look cheaply made, I'm mainly watching a movie for the story.
Yeah.
And the visuals I really like second to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, like to me, I do think Shazam, even though it does look cheaply made, I do think it is a good movie in terms of themes and plot and writing.
Well, that's it. Movies are subjective, and I agree with you. The story was really good, and that the thing with his mum, turning her back on him, that was really, it's just
I really wasn't expecting that.
Billy Battinson's mum's probably one of the worst villains in the whole of the DCU. To be honest with you, everyone fucking hates her guts. But yeah, for me, I do like movies, lower budget movies that have got good storylines. Liam Neeson's done a few recently. Where they kind of really look, awful special effects, but the storyline's been really good. So, I love it. I'm like, I don't care what anyone says. I'm enjoying this, and that's a great thing. What would you think? What would you say on Birds of Prey? Because that one, I'm not 50-50.
Seen that at all.
Have you not seen that at all?
No. It really from the get-go, it just really kind of looked boring to me and just really didn't interest me at all. Even after the movie has come out, I've actually kind of forgotten that movie actually existed a few times.
Yeah.
So, really I haven't seen Birds of Prey at all.
No. Well, do you know what? One day, give it a watch because it's worth a laugh for a bit of fun. But yeah, it is. It's very colourful and silly. And they again done a dirty on Cassandra Cain. Who was such a great character in the comics that I grew up with. She was one of my favourite superheroes once she'd sort of turned good. Because she was related to assassins and all that sort of business, and they really done her a dirty. And I saw several comments from Asian people saying, "Oh, obnoxious Asian kid that's a thief again." Typical Hollywood. Doing their racist thing again. And so they done her dirty on that, and but I think probably the only highlight of that movie for me was Ewan McGregor.
I keep hearing that Ewan McGregor was the best part of the movie. That's really all the positive I've heard about it.
Yeah, he was actually really good at it, quite funny. And obviously, Margot Robbie, she's beautiful. Same with the Suicide Squad. Some of her scenes were really cool, but it's another fail from the Hamadaverse, and Jeff Johns' influence again. Too much of that, and so this is exactly what we're fighting for. Is to it's okay. We can have them universes going on at the same time and spin-offs to that, but as long as we've got this main Snyderverse for serious hardcore Snyder fans and hardcore DC fans, with deep emotional stories, which have got humour in them, but it's humour for adults. It's very subtle. Alfred's taking the piss out of Bruce Wayne all the time. That's really funny. That's hilarious. That's one of my favourite things.
Yeah.
Because they've got such a good banter going on. There's several scenes that are really, really funny in Snyder's movies, and it just goes over their head.
Because really that's the thing for me as well. Like I really find it funny. Like, the thing that makes it even more funny is that is kind of like this. Like, in the context of us, like, we think Ben Affleck's Batman is the greatest version of Batman, but then you have Jeremy Irons' Alfred taking jabs at him and calling out his flaws.
That's exactly it, which is brilliant. Because and we get a little bit of that in the Snyder Nights with me. I'm always everyone's going, "Oh, shut the fuck up, Batman." True story. This is a true story. I really love all that. And it's so great. And in Zack Snyder's Justice League, when he says to Alfred, "This is Alfred, I work for him," that's just that was one of my favourite scenes. Favourite lines, sorry, in the movie. And it was, again, we'll go back to that. You've been a part of the Snyder movement, for so long now, and you've been there along with us. You was in the old group that we was in. That was a terrible what happened there, but it turned out all right in the end. I contacted you straight away, didn't I? I said, do you want to be a part of the Snyder Nights? And you was like, of course, and you've been brilliant, and really, really mega valued member of our team. Really, really big. Everyone's a valid member and got their own special things that they're good at. Making memes. John King's very good at the references from comics. And with his page, John King's infographics, Snyder Night infographics. I think that will be soon. And Alicia Eckford. She's just kind of like the cyborg of our group. She's the heart of the Snyder Nights because she's very nice and sweet, and she makes great memes that people find hilarious. It's great. And obviously Gary McGill from the Batfleck campaign, Jeremy Piner, Rafiq Knox, Jerry Solanke. They all do their part. They've all got great thing, and it's such a good thing that we've made such a good, like, a Justice League, really.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be nothing without everyone's input. That was when I come up with the idea for the Snyder Nights, like the Knights of the Round Table. That was the plan. And George Chavez as well. He's very really, really good with his posts and memes and stuff, and it gets the troops going, and we try to encourage people to go on Twitter on the Snyderverse days, whether it's make the Batfleck movie, restore the Snyderverse, release the Eye Cut, let them know in advance. And no, it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, thank you to all the team at the Snyder Knights. Eventually, we'll get everyone on here. Maybe individually, and then maybe all at once, because I've got StreamYard, so I think I can have up to 10 people in one go. That would be a good laugh if we could get everyone
Yeah.
on at the same time. That would be amazing. But yeah, so who knows what the future holds? Yeah.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could have like some kind of big celebration stream when a big celebration video when the Snyderverse gets restored. That would be nice.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, we'll definitely do something along them lines. Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh yeah, Dawn J Snyder as well. She's one of our more recent admins. She's been great, and she's been a big member of the DC community for God knows how long. She's been amazing as well. Trying to think if I've forgotten anyone. Hopefully not. Yeah. But yeah, everyone's does their thing, and I'm going to get everyone on the channel at some point, so that's going to be great. And yeah, we're nearly coming up to an hour there, Jeffrey, so I think we'll call that a day.
Okay.
And thank you for coming on. Please check out Jeffrey's projects, the Justice League Pandora's Box and Justice League Revelations. That's amazing stuff. Thank you very much, Jeffrey, and I'll speak to you. I'll probably be in the messenger later of the Snyder Night, so I'll speak to you later.
Okay.
And I'll thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. I'll speak to you soon.
See you soon, man.
See you soon. Batman out.
Peace.
Peace.